Hello, thanks for joining me for this week's story, the parable of the Good Samaritan. Now, all of our parable stories are found right over here to my left on our parable shelves. The parables are in these gold boxes. It's supposed to remind us that something very valuable is inside. Maybe even more valuable than gold. A parable teaches us wisdom that might be more valuable than anything else. Parables are in these boxes. They have a lid on them because sometimes, even if you think you're ready, you can't get into a parable. That's okay. Don't be discouraged. Keep coming back, knocking, and one day the parable will open to you. The box is meant to look like a present because in a way it is. A parable is like a present that was given to you long, long ago, before you were born, before you knew about it, waiting for the day that you would open it. And parables are very old. Older than you, older than me, older than your grandparents. Parables are nearly 2,000 years old. And they hold wisdom that was passed down through all the ages. So today, we're going to see what this present holds. Hopefully it will open to us and share its wisdom with us. I wonder what this is supposed to be. Nothing on either side, just a lot of brown. Maybe it's supposed to be a big piece of wood. It's very rough. Maybe it's supposed to be the ground with rough dirt and rocks. Let's see if there's anything else that helps us understand. Here's a piece. It's smoother. Maybe it's like a fence separating the two sides. Or maybe it's a road. Or maybe it's something else. Let's look for more clues. I think maybe it is a road. A road going between these cities, Jerusalem and Jericho. That looks like a long way. I wonder what these are. They're dark. They don't let any light in. Maybe they're rocks or holes or just signs of danger. There once, a long, long time ago, lived someone who was so wise that people would come and ask him, "Tell us what life is about. Tell us a story. Help us to learn. This man's name was Jesus, and people thought of him as the teacher. One day, someone came to him and asked, "Teacher, what is the most important thing in life?" Jesus said, "I think you already know." The questioner said, "I do. You have taught us that it is to love God and to love our neighbors, just like God does." Jesus said, "Yes, that's right." The person thought for a while. He said, but teacher, I have one more question. Who must I love? Who is my neighbor? Jesus started to tell them a story, a parable. He said, "Once there was a man who lived in Jerusalem, and he was going on the road down to Jericho. It was a long and difficult road, full of bandits, thieves, and danger. And along the way, two thieves were hiding behind some rocks. And when the man came into that vulnerable place, the thieves jumped out and attacked him. They beat him up. They stole his money. They took his nice clothes. They left him with nothing, injured on the side of the road. And when they had taken everything, they ran away, leaving the man hurt, with nothing, by himself, crying out for help. Now it was a busy road. People often had reasons to go from Jerusalem to Jericho. And so other people started to come down the road. First, there was a priest who had been working in the temple in Jerusalem and needed to go to Jericho. He came down the road, and when he came close to the rocks, he saw the man lying there by the side. He was bloody and beaten, and the priest didn't want to get dirty. So he went far around him. Didn't touch him or check on him, and made his way down to Jericho and left the injured man there. A little while later, a Levite who also worked in the temple came. He might have played music or cleaned the temple or taken care of the important things there. He also had to go to Jericho. And when he came down and saw the injured man, he was afraid that whoever had attacked him might come back. And so quickly he moved to the other side of the street, and he went past also without checking on or helping the man. And finally, there was a man from Samaria. He was a foreigner. He didn't live in Jerusalem or Jericho. He lived in a country called Samaria. He was a Samaritan man, and he didn't like people from Jerusalem And people from Jerusalem didn't like him and did not treat him nicely. But he was traveling down this road for business. And he saw the man injured on the side of the road with nothing left. He felt sorry for him. He knew what he needed to do and he couldn't pass by. So he went over to the man. He saw that he was hurt and he decided to take care of him. He took out some ointment and put the cream on his injuries so that they would heal. He gave him some of his water and some of his food. He gave him his cloak so that he wouldn't get cold. And he put him on his donkey. And together, they made their way down to a little inn by Jericho. He brought the injured man into the inn. He got him a bed, even though the injured man had no money to pay him back. He told the innkeeper to take care of him, to feed him, and make sure his wounds healed. And he paid the innkeeper so that he would do those things and the man could heal. And when the Samaritan man knew that the man would be okay, the Samaritan left, knowing that he would never get paid back. Now Jesus asked, who was the neighbor to the injured man? Was it the priest? Or the Levite? Was it the thieves? Or was it the Samaritan man? Who is the neighbor to a thief? Is it the priest? Or is it the Levite? Is it the Samaritan? Is it the injured man? I wonder, which of these people are actually neighbors? And how should they treat each other? I wonder what Jesus was trying to tell with this story. What lesson did he want to teach the man who asked how to love his neighbor? I wonder who your neighbors are. And I wonder how you can love them. wonder what it means to love God with all of our heart and to love everyone else the same way that God would love them. Let's put our pieces back. The Samaritan and the injured man. The priest and the Levite. The thieves along the road. And the picture of caring for your neighbor. The cities and the dangerous places. The roads that we take. And the ground where we tell the stories. I hope that this parable opened for you today, that it let you inside, that you discovered its treasure that was more valuable than gold. Thank you for joining me for this week's story.